Good start. Good start. Greetings and welcome to the podcast. I am here with Brad and Colin because about a year ago we made our own video game book club. The rules are simple. One person picks a game, and then you got to beat that game within a month. If you do, then you get to pick the next game, and fuck. And if you do, then you get to pick the next game for everyone to play once your month comes around. This month's game was chosen by Brad. Brad, what did you pick, homie?
The game for this month was Bug Fables, the game that Paper Mario fans were waiting for over a decade.
Now, I never played Paper Mario. I know that you and Colin did. How close is it?
Uh, I'd say it's about as close as you can get to a.
It's a clone, dude.
I mean, yeah, some aspects it's just straight ripped from Paper Mario.
The good and the bad.
Yeah, it definitely has some of the bad in there, but the good part shines like a diamond.
A diamond, dude.
Shine bright like a diamond. Does it do anything better than Paper Mario did?
I think the combat was definitely more interesting. Instead of having only one, two party members in Paper Mario, it's Mario and then whatever buddy you have with you or you decide to have in.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword because like you do have a third party member, but there's more variety in Paper Mario, because you have multiple team. There's more than 3 team members. Whereas in Bug Fables,
Yeah.
you only get the 3 characters, besides like extra stuff. But
And honestly, some of the moves that or abilities that you have on like Leaf, V, and Kabu, they're just not worth using at all. There's a lot of fluff in that.
oh yeah, like a
Ability
lot of
menu.
it just becomes over centralized, where you just do like one skill over and over again because it's so much
Oh,
better.
sick, going right into gameplay. Yeah, so like the turn-based style, it's like an interactive turn-based style where you get to do there's like little mini games for each attack, right? Some as
Yeah, it's
simple as like
literally Paper
hold
Mario.
down, and then others are like put in this cheat code within a certain amount of time. And I actually, as much as I've complained about the combat, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Some parts were fun, and really interactive moves were fun to do. They just didn't do
Well,
as
because
well as
like,
I wanted
would you
them
rather
to.
have something like that, like this, where it's like there's blocking and you have to do like actually do inputs and execution, or would you rather have like Final Fantasy, like where you just
I
click a menu and attack?
Yeah, sometimes Final Fantasy and sometimes the this because this is more interactive, but then like you feel so dumb when you gotta hit like because Leaf's attack is just like press this button when it shows up. Press this one button and you got like
Yeah,
90 fucking years to press it.
it is probably like 100 frames.
But you're so intent on like, oh, I gotta press it and make sure that I do it fast, and it's like you could just look at the button and then press it. Um,
At the end of the game, for some reason, dude, I completely forgot which stick to hold down for Kabu, and I kept holding down the wrong stick and
oh,
failing
you were
every
doing your
move.
C stick the whole time.
Yeah, I was using the right stick on my PlayStation controller, like a dumbass.
It kept doing that bounce off the
Yep,
enemy.
and I'm like, I thought my controller. I switched controllers, and then I don't know how I forgot, dude. 15 hours into the game.
Yeah, with a Leaf's basic attack, I'd always be trying to go a little too quick and subconsciously try to read what was gonna
Yeah,
pop
because you
up,
don't
and
have to
then
read it. It's literally you could just they give you so long to hit it.
Yeah, and I think they did like a decent job having like the generic party, like Kabu the beetle being the tank, and then V the bee being the DPS, and then Leaf being the mage. Um, and they switch around as the story progresses a little bit, depending on like there's a little bit of customization you can do with them. mainly with the medals.
None of them feel like helpless though, because like some RPGs where it's just like this character only heals and like they can't do anything but that.
Yeah.
All the characters in this game are pretty well rounded for the most part.
Yeah, because even if with the medals, with Kabu you can get the boulder medal or the pebble medal, so you cover his weakness of not being able to attack aerial enemies if like V's knocked out. Leaf only has like one skill, I think, as well. So, and it costs a lot of TP.
For what? The
ice rain or the single ice block where the cursor moves around.
That's like the best skill, isn't it? Are you talking about the ice rain? The one that's like the ability outside. You know what I'm talking about? That you
When
get
you
on
gotta do
Leaf's request.
the quest for.
Yeah.
Oh, his unlocked ability?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the first one you get.
Oh, okay. Ice. I think it's Ice Fall.
Yeah, the one that like fucking the first one that's able to freeze people that you basically use the whole game.
Because the one you get from the request is easily his best skill. That shit's nuts.
It's definitely saved me countless times, especially in
How about the platforming, dude?
Brad should go first. All of the good things should go first. and some foreshadowing. I did not like this game.
It sounds like you liked the combat though.
The combat was all right. Well, my problem with the combat is that I played Indivisible, which is an extremely interactive combat system, borderline a different combat system completely for turn-based, and I just feel as though this was like a much worse version of that. But that's because I never played Paper Mario to begin with, you know, so I don't have that nostalgia or knowing of the gameplay loop like that. But the platforming, I will reserve my opinions for until later.
But yeah, I mean, aside from some, it's Paper Mario platforming. Like, do some jumps here and there, freeze an enemy to get over a gap. It was serviceable. Like, it did what it set out to do with the game, providing another aspect with the puzzles and all that.
The only things that sucked because I guess you can kind of like just tie in the puzzles with the platforming because they kind of go hand. Like if you're platforming, you're doing a puzzle basically.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, if you had to move blocks, it sucked. And all the boomerang shit where you had to like throw the boomerang the opposite, that is such a dumb design choice.
You had to be so
angles.
fucking precise in a game that does not deserve that type of precision from the player. Like,
no, yeah, it's super annoying when you're trying to throw the boomerang like forward or at an angle, and you just throw it like whatever direction Vi was facing.
I did it countless times because like some of these boomerang throws require you to be not only in the right spot but thrown at the right angle, and then either held for a specific amount of time or moved in a specific type of way, especially as the game like gets to its later levels. But like at the start, it's like, oh, this is a very obvious thing. The item is on the rock. You can't jump to the rock. You have to use the boomerang to get the item, right? But then it's like stand in this corner, throw it diagonally, and then move up a ladder, and then fucking hold B the entire time, and then let go of it. And you gotta make sure that it's fucking opposite to way it was. That way it hits the other lever, and it's just like, if you fuck it up and then redo it, like the fucking up a boomerang throw takes more and more time as the puzzles progress, and it's like an cause like there's slow parts, right? There's slow parts to where like moving the block, that's a slow and meticulous part. That's just like fucking, you don't have to be super accurate with it aside from one portion of the game. You just got to get it there. But with the boomerang throw, it's just like either you did it right and there's only one way to do it, or you fuck up and you got to redo the whole thing.
And I don't even think the puzzles are like hard or complicated. I think it's just like the platforming and the movement and the switching characters is not fluid. It's like fine. It's not as fluid as it should be.
Like sometimes with when you need to freeze an enemy, so they put down on a switch.
Yeah.
And you're knocking them with Kabu. You see them jiggling, starting to break free, and then you got to immediately switch to mashing to switch to Leaf so you can freeze it again.
Yeah.
Like I had to restart just because they pop on you and then you got to fight them or flee. But
it might have been better if you could have just bind like each character to a button instead of having to like swap through all three of them. Because
would have been more fluid.
Yeah, the swap was not awesome. And then like I like that like you can switch your party before a battle, but like there was no way to get like the certain one that I wanted. Like at one point I wanted a certain character in back and then a certain character in front, but the other character was always like in the way of that. It's like I couldn't.
It's really weird that you couldn't make your own like order. I don't know why. That's just like a weird. It might have been like an oversight. I don't know why they would make it like that for any reason.
But world, like I like traversing each part of the world for the first time, and then like traversing the world after I've already seen it, it became very tedious for me, at least, because like
the game has
like
a shitty sense of direction too.
Yeah, because especially in the main town, like you could just keep running in circles. Like if you go to the right twice, you end up to where the left was, which is fine. But this game has no village map. It's only a world map, and a fairly bare bones world map at that.
It's pretty fucking useless.
Yeah. I would have really enjoyed a village map or some type of like to show you where you are in the actual like vicinity of what section of the map you're in, unless all three of us like missed that somehow. But
because I think they want you to explore, but you can get lost pretty far. Some of the areas too are literally mazes, like the desert,
swamp. Yeah, desert's a big one.
It's like you're meant to get lost, which I get, but it's also kind of annoying.
Just had to bust out the pen and paper. Start making your own.
If a game came out this century and I'm busting out pen and paper, I don't know if it's for me. Not that it was like you can figure out where to go relatively quickly. It's just not as intuitive as some games.
Well, I would get lost in the world map too. Like I would start going to a direction that I thought the world map wanted me to go, because it's like up and diagonal, right? And like you can throw a picture up of it somewhere of like the map fully realized, but it's not like a road to where like you go to the separate spot and then there's like it's like it's lines with parallel marks coming off shooting of like it looks like a fucked up stock market sheet, and like so I'd go like, oh, this is up and to the left. Wrong. I had to go completely right and then up and to the left, and it was just infuriating traversing through the world, in late game at least.
I know. I saw you whiff
around
so
chapter
much
6.
And just like hitting shift. I saw you whiff so many things. Just
well, because you always want to run with Kabu, right? And
oh, that's the other thing. Tying all abilities to one button and then giving the characters like 3 or 4 abilities. Bad idea. Bad idea.
Disgusting. Detestable. All these other words.
There's a free button with there's like triangle or square.
Yeah, triangle or Y.
I got bumpers. I got like triggers. I could push the analog stick in. Like
there is about like 7 unused buttons.
Yeah, it's like they're like, oh, let's make it for the fucking NES. It's like
it is the air ride of RPGs.
It's essentially a 3-button game, but there's way more mechanics than should be on 3 buttons. and I don't know why they did that either.
But yeah, having you guys watch me, because that's what made me upset is when I was traversing through the world, and I'm being watched, because I'm streaming my playthrough of the game, and then I just fall into a river, and then I set myself up, and I fall into the same river, and at some point it's like, why the fuck is this river even here? Like it's only there to make me press the A button, which is not like it's not a difficult thing to do. It's just annoying having to do it.
I guess
In
it
certain
doesn't really.
aspects.
Well, I guess it doesn't have a purpose. But at that spot where you were jumping, I think that's like the first jump.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like teaching people that like, oh, you have to jump. That's my only idea why it would be. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty pointless.
Yeah. Nothing in the game like is difficult, but whiffing it feels terrible.
There's difficult battles.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was doing straight off platforming. Battles are a whole different story. And Brad, you played it on hard mode. How was that?
Let's see. The spider one in the snake mouth den wasn't too bad. I'll just skip ahead real quick and say that I had to take it off for the wasp or the everlasting king.
Yeah,
I tried at least like
level.
10, 12 times. I got him down to.
Were you max level?
I think like. I don't think so. No. But like it. I was 20 HP away on my last run, I think, in his final heal. But I just couldn't do it. I kept on getting so close.
Did you die anywhere else?
Yeah, I think I died to B-33.
Oh yeah,
the tank.
The beehive
that's
boss.
the giant bee, the mech bee in the factory.
Yeah, if I remember right, he has 2 armor in hard mode, and you gotta have like the enfeeble on him.
Yeah.
Or whichever is the defense debuff. Otherwise, these you won't be doing anything.
Yeah, I played on normal. I don't think I died a single time until the end of the game. I had like some
tank boss, dude. Tank boss was a fucking.
Here's the thing.
For me.
I was down to like 2 HP when I killed the tank, and thankfully he's a little bitch boy and he just slaps you. So
yeah,
I was able to live.
Garbage.
But yeah, I was very close to dying on a couple fights. I remember that one
took
too.
Me out with the slaps. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I got
like the first time you meet him.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you lost to him the first time?
Yeah, and a lot of bosses I didn't beat in one go.
Oh, it's because it's on hard. He's probably because on normal he is stupid. Like literally, the guys he summons with him are harder than him. Like the slaps do nothing. I think they do like 1 damage.
Yeah, and he caught me off guard because I didn't think he would do the slap attack. I just didn't have the timing down for the blocks, so I just kind of.
So you died to the slaps?
Yeah, dude, I got slapped by General Fuff.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, the tank was the highlight of the game for me, because I think it's actually a well-crafted battle, and having his second form be significantly weaker than his tank form was a nice relief, because I beat him and then I'm popping off, kind of like in Sekiro with the fucking butterfly queen. Like I'm popping off and then I see he has another form when I look back, and everybody's like, oh no, and then it's just like you run through him.
Yeah, but he's like pointless.
The tank shoots rockets, and that's what was fucking me for a long time, is that every 4 turns he just nukes you.
I think that's the first time I started using the shield ability with Leaf.
Yeah. Because
it's just so strong there. You don't even have to worry about the rockets then. You can just like nullify them. The game's pretty. It's like not it's a good difficulty, I think.
Yeah, I have a problem with the progression. I could not stand, and I was narrowing it down, and I was trying to think of like, why do I not feel as though this game is letting me feel the levels that I'm like. I felt just like I did at level 1, than I did at 27. And it's because it's like that Wilson thing where there's no like set damage modifier because you have health, you have TP, which I guess you could equate into damage, and then you got metal points. But there's no like everybody does 1 extra damage on their basic attack thing.
Yeah, you always do
level up.
1 day. Yeah, your attack's always 1.
Yeah.
Like base, no matter what.
So I think that was my biggest problem with the progression in the game. And then I learned metals were OP.
Yeah, it feels a lot better because hard mode. Every boss you beat, you get a new medal from the dude at the Adventurers Guild.
Yeah,
and that made it feel the progression like way better because you have way more options and you're actually doing, or you have actual attack buffed badges.
yeah, it's essentially
medals.
like Path of Exile, like where all your skills are, they're attached to the fucking like the grid.
Yeah.
You're basically nothing without the medals. And I remember you had like no medals.
Yeah, no, I was playing the game wrong for a long time.
I mean, that way works to eat too because you had a ton of TP, which is also strong.
Well, yeah, no, my main goal was to get everybody up to 10 health and then just max out TP. And I think I had like 60 TP at the end, or 50 or 60 somewhere in there. So it helped me in the long run. But then the final boss came and that shit was pretty difficult.
The only
the role
issue,
that
you just didn't
what-
have enough items. Like, everything
Yeah.
else was fine.
Yeah, items is so huge in Bug Fables to be able to win in a boss fight because you have to just nuke them with all the TP you have, and then usually it's not enough. So if you don't have the items for that, you're kind of
Yeah, especially because
That's the water.
bosses usually, I feel like most of them have multiple phases. And they usually have some form of healing.
or double attack.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was my problem.
Monsieur Scarlet, the one you get to on the one they
Oh,
they unlock the basement one.
with the umbrella, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
umbrella. Dude, fucking on her she has an AoE attack or all target attack, and
Yeah.
she would heal 8 each time she used that.
That's
it wasn't
pretty
even on block.
Yeah, that's hard to out damage.
It was like an RNG almost on how many times he used that move.
Well, that's why fighting
RNG fucked me.
what's that one guy's name? Mothvia and the one guy. You know what I'm talking-
Zast and Mothvia.
That's why fighting them is so
Mothvia.
annoying because like if you kill him, she just keeps reviving him.
Yep.
So
and
it's
if you
like
kill her, then he gets a huge buff.
even if you hit her, he gets like an attack buff and he attacks twice. So it's like you have to micromanage killing him and hitting her without fucking yourself.
Yeah, I just nuked the healer as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's
and then just ate the extra hits.
I just prayed to the RNG gods and hoped I froze him.
I
When I used frigid coffin.
yeah, that's the move. You freeze him and then hit her. I think if you kill him 2 or 3 times, he doesn't get revived. Because that's what I did, and she stopped reviving him. So I wonder if the bosses actually have like a TP. Then they must not. There's no way.
No, there's
Yeah, I
no.
don't
They
think so.
every enemy cheats, dude. It makes me so mad.
They don't
'Cause, like,
cheat,
you
dude.
could have a sick battle strategy, right? That would work 90% of the time, and then RNG completely fucks you. Like, and you just keep rolling that. You keep rolling that one over and over again, and it's just like,
That's the best.
I don't
Dude,
know.
you love card games.
I do love card games. I'm addicted to a new card game now. I guess it's not new. It's new to me, but fucking that infuriates me too. It is weird because as someone that really detests RNG, I do play way too many card games to be
Which are
for
literally
it to be
built
reasonable.
on RNG.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, most of those high damaging attacks, they're also a pain in the ass to block, or to super block, right? So, you're just, it's hard to block, you're eating a lot of damage if you don't time it right. And,
I feel like a
Those
lot of the
lines.
RNG is not too bad either. Because even on the final boss, I feel like you can kind of control what he's gonna do to some extent.
Well, yeah, to some extent, like, But getting hit by that laser, dude, that laser is fucking crazy. And then I got hit by it twice.
Yeah, there's
It
still
wasn't as
RNG.
big a deal as I'm making it out to be, but it definitely halted my progress really heavily.
Yeah, I mean, none of the bosses have like a nuke move that they just randomly pick. It's not anything like that.
Yeah, most full party damaging moves are telegraphed a couple turns beforehand.
Yeah, they usually
Um,
give you the like the countdown.
yeah, like a little
Or
indicator.
it's a charge up,
Yeah, the game's
which you're gonna cleanse.
the game's pretty. I don't think the game's unfair.
No, not at any point. It's all my anger towards the game comes from tedium. It was tedious pushing the block. It was tedious traversing through the world. And it was the puzzles got better though. Once you get into that what do you call it? The puzzle where you start moving the ice blocks, like actually moving them like in crosscode.
Oh,
The
that's the
sandcastle
yeah in the
and
desert.
bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After the sandcastle, the puzzles got pretty decent. But everything before that, it's like this is how you do the puzzle, and then it comes down to execution, and it's like, well, I fucked up the execution 3/4 through the puzzle. Now I got to look at it again.
and like where they teach you that the boomerang kicks back to like hit that puzzle
You
is
saved
so
my
dumb.
life.
That
You
well,
saved
dude,
my life.
I don't
dude.
I don't know how they expect you to actually figure it out. Like that is not intuitive at all. How long did it take you to figure that out, Brad?
Um,
There's no way you figured it out fast.
I think it definitely took me a bit of just messing around, and then I think the create like the person who made the when you get the upgrade, the spinning upgrade, I think they mentioned that, right? And
The sign mentions like something like it, but it's like I don't know. Just when you throw a boomerang, you don't expect it to like kick back behind. Like it doesn't really make sense.
it's definitely a little awkward.
There's
Not
multiple
something you think
things
of.
like that too. Especially when it comes to actually like moving throughout the world. Like at one point, Colin was watching me. He's like, "I'm gonna save you like 45 minutes. Jump down this well." I didn't even know that was a thing that I could interact with. Like it just looked like a set piece in the area I was in. I didn't
Oh,
know that you had to jump down a well.
how'd you find that, Brad? In the what's it, Defiant Route, where you have to go in that well to get the rusty key to the bandit.
So I found it. That was like I found it actually pretty quickly. I found him in there anyway, and
Did you just
what he offered.
Oh, you jumped down
Yeah.
there before you even had to?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Or-
had no idea. It took me forever.
But yeah, the dumb thing is I was going after the second tablet and not the one you get from the bandit hideout because I'm like, I'm not buying this key. I don't need it from him. And I'd probably spend at least 20 minutes throughout the whole desert looking for a key and trying to get over to the Roach ruins, but you need dig for that.
Yeah.
So
That whole
then-
section of the game has to be the worst. It's just so confusing.
well, you think you'd be able to choose which one you'd be able to get first, not that it's in order because they never
Yeah.
specify it is.
It's a really like talk to this guy and he gives you like a vague thing and you go to this area. It's like it's a lot of just like hoping you figure it out.
Yeah, and I thought it's like, oh, this spend berries for a quick shortcut. I'm not spending the berries. I need them.
Yeah.
But it's the only way.
I just imagine being a kid, like late '90s, not many home, like you're alone, right? And you can't like fucking the homies are asleep, and there's no internet to look up. I would never fucking beat this game ever.
That's why game guides are so huge. Like straight up, I don't know how. Maybe I've just grown soft with old age, but some games back then, I really don't know how the fuck you'd beat them without a guide.
Maybe translations were better on some of the older
Especially on
JRPGs like
JRPG,
that.
like it's literally, I don't know what you would do.
What else was there? Oh, you had to jump out a window at some point for the sandcastle, And Colin helped me with that too. He's like, I'm gonna save you some time here. You gotta go out the window. At no point do you go out a window ever in the game again or before. It's the only window you go through.
It's like I do like the perspective stuff they do with the fixed camera, because it's like if you're gonna have a fixed camera like that, as annoying as it is, I like that they actually use it in ways instead of it just being fixed for no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit like that, it's like that took me forever to figure out that you had to jump out the window to get over there.
Yeah, eventually exhausted all options in that area.
How much shit they hide is the only saving grace of that camera. There are so many times where I'm like, if I could just turn this camera 30 degrees to the left, I'd be much happier. But it's not an option. You can't even grab it and tilt it a little bit like in Hotline Miami or something. Like you gotta like stay at that fixed point. And it's
I think Paper Mario did. You could like the camera did turn. I don't know if you could actually turn it, but
1,000 Year Door, no, it goes where it wants to go.
But the perspective did change, because I remember like when you could like look from the other, where it's like Mario looks completely flat.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't think Bug Fables ever does that. I don't think the camera angle changes at all.
Yeah, aside from cutscenes,
where it just like pans out.
Yeah. I don't think it does either.
Now we get to the fun part. We're going to story, and I'm gonna be real
part,
quiet. I'm gonna be real quiet for this section.
Do you know anything of the story?
I know that you're with a little spunky bee that I found really annoying named Vi. I know that you're with a nice guy Kabu that fights for his friends. And you're with a mage that apparently has a wife, I think, and their name is Leaf. They're a moth. And I don't want to say they're the voice of reason, but they seem like the most like neutral person. You become Team Snake Mouth, and then you run around being an errand boy until shit goes whack, and then you fight the king, and everything's all right.
I don't think the story's good. I know. Did you like it?
I mean, yeah, I liked it. Obviously, you're not gonna. It wasn't something with deep philosophical meaning to it.
It was just like too cookie cutter.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. It turns into like chapter 5 and onward. It turns into saving the world or saving Bulgaria.
And there was no real twist either,
Yeah, I thought like because you know how the queen is kind of in the beginning, she seems hostile almost.
Well, yeah, I thought that twist was coming too, where like the queen's evil.
Yeah, or trying to get the sapling for her own nefarious.
Also, that one guy says some weird stuff. The guy from the guild, you know what I'm talking about? Like the first guy you talk to.
The beetle?
Yeah, I remember there was some like weird interaction when you find the first item. And I thought, oh, maybe this guy's evil. And it turns out he's nothing also. There was just like no twist. It was like, yep, everything happened that you'd literally expect to happen.
I do like for me, I think why I like disregarding the story, the writing, I thought was there was some clever bits and stuff that made me laugh.
There's definitely funny lines for sure.
Like in the beehive where that scientist guy is before you can take those medals.
Yeah.
You go up, try to take it, and Kai was like, "No, don't touch that." At least like, well, we can just steal it when he's not looking.
Oh yeah, they have like the infighting about being thieves.
Yeah, and it's like it was just a good chemistry the main cast had. I feel Because
See,
you have
the only character I think is interesting is Leaf. The other two suck.
yeah, that's their requests or Kabu's and these requests were definitely well, Kabu's
Oh,
barely exists.
those are literally, I can't even believe I did those, because those make me hate the game more, to be honest, because Vi's request is literally just a fetch quest and you get a painting. That is the only reward. And then Kabu's request, do you know what it is, Frank?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I know at one point Kabu wanted an action figure, and I got it for him.
Yeah, that's not it. This is,
Okay.
you remember where he fought that beast?
Yeah,
The scorpion thing?
yeah.
His request is you go back there so you can fucking, where your friends died, Kabu's old friends,
Okay.
and that's it. He says
Oh,
about
just
two
like
lines
pay
of
respects
dialogue.
or something.
Yeah, you get nothing. You walk all the way out there, and that's it. That's the whole quest.
See, and like I skipped, I'd say 80% of all the dialogue in the game, and most of it is from the beginning. That I looked at, and I did not see much character development at all. There was no like overarching story between each of these characters, because usually in these long RPGs, because the game's like 12 hours long, like they go through arcs of like I was this and now I'm this. But everybody is well established as who they are throughout the entire thing. And am I wrong in that, or was that did I not look through like what I was supposed to? Because at no point do they like zoom in on one specific character and go, all right, this is the story this is my part of the story. Like I know there's there's side requests like for each one, but as you said, like Kabu's is just like he was already established as a dude that likes to fight for his friends, and he wanted to go see his friends. So it's like,
Yeah. Leaf's request is the only one that's actually like, it's pretty good. It adds quite a bit. Did you get the secret room, Brad? Or do you know what it is?
the secret room.
Yeah, it's during Leaf's request.
Oh, is that where you would put that peculiar gem or whatever it is? Because I didn't use that item.
I think. Let me. It's actually pretty sick. This is what adds like, because there's like no lore in the game.
Is it where you fight his basically what they were trying to turn him into? Like
No, that's part of the request. It's this. If you scroll down, there's like the secret room, and it shows you like all the other experiments, and there's guardians called Mars, Venus, and Pluto.
Oh, I'm upset I missed that.
There's like not much in it, but it's like some little lore. But Leaf's request is interesting because it's like, because Leaf's dead. I don't think you knew that, Frank.
no, I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
no fucking clue.
Cordyceps is piloting his body.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Last of Us. Let's go.
That's why he talks in like whatever you'd call that, like a hive
Wait,
mind.
so what about his wife? Is his wife a widow?
Is that's not his wife, right?
No, that's
It's
it would be like his daughter, granddaughter, however far back it is.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
He died a long time ago, so everyone he knows is dead. So that's
Why
like
did
an
we save him
ancestor.
from a spider?
Because they didn't know he was dead.
Okay.
Well,
and
and
that's where the Roach's lab was. That's why there were like the zombie ants, the zombies. And
yeah, the roaches were doing experiments, and it's like they were looking for a host, and I guess Leaf's body. And that's the other thing. Leaf's dead, and they only have the thing inside him has memories of Leaf. So then it's a whole dilemma, because it's like Leaf doesn't even know if he's actually really Leaf or he just thinks he's Leaf. It's pretty interesting.
I remember like pieces of fragments of something like being in Leaf, and I thought it was gonna go like the Tales of Arise like way, where it's like like the thorns from Tales of Arise. But then like that apparently was like, oh, that's the memories of Leaf or whatever, and something completely different. Which, I mean, it's more than I thought there was, because I didn't give the game a fair shot when it came to reading shit. I was very hasty, when deciding to skip everything.
Well, that's what sucks, because like that's the only cool, like, interesting thing. The rest of it's cookie cutter, in my opinion, anyway.
Because you could get a basic idea of what's happening without reading a fucking thing, and they only talk in beep boops, which I've never been fond of.
Well, the world's pretty cool too, because you can pretty much assume all the humans are dead.
Yeah.
And then you got that skeleton child, or the Omega out.
Yeah, there was some like catastrophic event, and then bugs became sentient, which is a pretty interesting concept.
Yeah, I like that, because like there's traces of human life everywhere. Like the shop or the bank is like an apple juice box, and then the fucking in the sand there's like a shovel and all of that. So humans were there at one point, and now they're not. So I think that's cool. It's just like, at no point did I see any lore expanding upon that, like through text. You could probably find it somewhere.
There was the lore books that gave a lot of background info.
They give a good. It sucks though, because like the main story that you're playing through is so much less interesting than like the actual world. And like, I get maybe they're setting up for like a sequel, but like the roach experiments and like these guardian things in the secret room, like that shit is so much more interesting than just like, we got to save the kingdom.
I was hoping to see more of Venus and not just her being a heal bot.
Oh,
after
that's a bad mechanic we forgot to talk about.
Oh yeah, why is it that a third the way through the game I have to start paying for heals? What the fuck is up with that?
I don't get that.
And it's not like it's breaking me or anything, but it's definitely needless and an inconvenience.
They did do away with the golden save crystals pretty quickly.
Well, they come back like for a second, and then they go away again, and then at the end of the game they give you a red one, the only one in the game.
I don't know what the red is.
It only heals you. It doesn't save.
Stupid.
I don't get it. I don't get why they couldn't just all be gold. Because like, buy every save is a Venus anyway, so it's just like you have to save and then pay 8 berries to heal, which is like an amount of money that you'll always have, but it makes no sense why they couldn't just let you heal for free.
Well, it's for people like me that need a few extra items, right? But then get fucking hit trying to get the items. So when you go back, you got 6 berries because you spent them all on items, and you can't fucking heal up. So you got to go kill another monster, and it's pointless.
Nah, dude, there's a reason for the heal tax. It's
okay.
When he first talked to Venus, or one of her buds, I think it was, and she mentions like the fee or whatever, and V gets pissed off and asks why, and it's like, well, I need to finance
pay
the village.
Yeah. Like, I get.
She never pays it throughout the entire game. I must have given her at least 800 berries.
That's just the reason that they that they gave you.
Well, here's another thing. If you do V's request, dude, turns out V's rich.
Oh yeah, isn't she part of the B fucking hierarchy though?
Oh yeah, she's just been hoarding money to herself the whole game, because you need to buy an item, and it's like an absurd amount of berries, and she just pays for it.
Yeah, V fucking sucks. I'm gonna be real.
Or Vi, V or Vi, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, whatever you want to call her. She's kind of stinky poopy, dude.
I always liked her. It was a good contrast to Kabu, who's doing everything for free, and then they have good banter because you always have V getting annoyed with.
Well, I just felt like they weren't deep in any way. It's like Kabu's like the typical stoic fight for his friends, he's kind of a coward, but he becomes brave. Vi's, the typical, everyone doubts me, but I can do it. And then's like, is actually sensitive. I don't know.
Sensitive. She
Well, it's
dipped
also
out on fucking Kabu when the spider came. She could have just left the whole game. She could have done none of this.
That was a pussy move.
well, dude, she's just trying to adventure and retire. That's her whole plan or her whole goal for like.
Well, like I said, the only interesting character is Leaf, and he's dead. So I just felt like he actually had some depth, and it wasn't just like the basic, character of every game.
See, I feel like they could have done Kabu a lot better if they had some flashbacks throughout the chapters leading up to the swamp where you fight the beast. Just so you can have a picture of his mentor, his buddy that
Right.
Like
he talks about it a lot, but you never really see any of that shit. Even with the request, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and it's like and he's always like super careful and whatnot. And he starts to get when you get into the swamplands, it's like it's just weird that how they portray it, like he's being reckless, blah blah blah. It could have been done much better, I think.
I mean, it is an indie game, so I guess I get why it's like stuff like that's lacking. It's like they only had so much money and time to flesh everything out.
Well, I've done nothing but shit on the game for this entire time. What I do want to say is that the game looks great. The art is great. For what it is and what it's supposed to be, I think that overall everything looks great. There's not a lot of glitches, There's nothing that like really stands out as like, oh, this is a flaw in the art design. Like everything fit together really good artistically, in my opinion.
Well, and I love where it's like you're going like at the end with like the fridge. It's like, oh yeah, it's a fridge. Like
yeah,
the areas you could be like, oh okay, this makes sense that like, oh the desert's a sandbox. It's like, oh, okay.
And while map design isn't like astounding by any means, the individual level design is pretty good. Like the puzzle rooms are pretty fucking good.
Yeah, no, once you get into like the dungeons, I feel like they're pretty good. It's just usually outside of them that they're kind of all over the fucking place.
We'll say the desert, like the hub of the desert area where it's just a bunch of ledges, bunch of fallen trees that you got to walk across. It makes dashing with Kabu a little precise. I've fallen off countless times,
which is really dumb because that's where they give you the dash. So they give you the dash in the worst area to use the dash. It was kind of an annoying movement ability to use. It didn't feel great to use it.
I thought you had to press it and then hold it. You just double press it. You don't have to hold it. So that was a big mistake on my part.
Well, that's the other issue of attaching every fucking skill to one button.
Yeah.
That's what's weird too, that there's a whole other skill for Leaf that you only get with his request. Like that you can use outside of battle.
What is it?
Oh yeah, you can freeze spots of water, basically bring a ice pillar down.
So it lets you drop like an ice into the water and make a platform on water.
Oh, I'm sure there's some fucking hidden shit that I'll never look at.
It's just weird that they give that to you in a side quest that I'm assuming most people don't do till after they beat the game. I guess you could do it before you beat it if you wanted to. Which is probably worth it because the in-battle skill is also really strong that you get from it.
Yeah, that's why I did V's request too.
What do you get?
You get I can't remember the name, but it's basically full party, 2 heal, and then 2 heals.
Oh, that's how you get that.
+2 for 2 turns. Yeah.
Dude, and Kabu gets nothing, dude.
I extra fucked myself, dude, because like I didn't know you could flee without having money.
Oh yeah.
so I took all my money out the bank.
And then just fled it all away.
Yeah, and all that time that I spent grinding to get more items, it could have just been like, okay, here's all my money, you know? But instead, I fucking drain all of my money for no reason, fleeing.
There's also a medal that you can buy. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like 30 berries. That it makes the flee input only 3 buttons.
I did
Would've
like
been
that.
perfect.
I liked the cheat code inputs.
Except when you fucked them up.
When I fucked them up, it would infuriate me. But I liked hitting them because like it's a cool idea that you got to press a little cheat code to fucking do some shit.
Well, I've always liked turn-based games where there's like blocking or execute, like timing. 'Cause
Yeah.
it adds like a nice little like you can't just sit there and like Pokemon or the older Final Fantasies where you can literally just mash A through fights.
Yeah.
Which is nice when you don't want to fight, but it's kind of lame on like bosses and shit. It's like a de-immersion thing.
And I turned the music off at one point, but the music warmed up to me after Brad said that it was decent and worth listening to. It's just boss music is not the move for me. I don't like hearing
Really? You didn't like him?
not hearing them 7 times now. Like
Some of them.
it's
some
not
of
like Blue Dragon where it like keeps me flowing, you know, and gets me in the mood. It's like
Well, nothing's Blue Dragon boss music. That's one
Yeah.
of one. You can't really.
You can't beat it.
It's tier 0. You just can't
Yeah.
compare.
It's the only thing that kept me through the game.
Yeah, I think it's a mixed bag with the song. There's good songs and there's ones that are just kind of, eh. But there are some really good ones that are like the Termite one is sick. That's probably the coolest area in the game too, the Termite capital.
I liked it. I didn't like any of the stealth missions. Because I didn't know how lenient the stealth was.
Oh, I think you only have to do that in the bandit
Yeah.
area.
And
Well,
I think there's one later game, but it's like much shorter.
I mean, that just goes back to like the overworld mechanics and like the platforming and all that shit's just not that precise. It's clunky.
Yeah, it's clunky and it's not like it. They give you instructions on how to do the moves, but not how to implement them.
Yeah.
At least not all of them. They do a good job from like the start, but then like once characters get 2 or 3 moves, they kind of falter. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you
they just
didn't tell me
expect you
about
to
that
know.
boomerang snapback, I would have never figured it out.
Yeah, it's not intuitive. A lot of that shit's just like here's all the things, just figure it out now.
And then there's this one section where you're gonna know what it is as soon as I fucking say it. But you're like on there's 2 moving platforms, and you gotta freeze an ice block and then hit it with Kabuto
Oh, at the end of the game?
at the end of the
Oh,
game.
the final puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that shit that really like showcased how shitty it was to hit that ice block around. Like before it was a chore, and then it became like the worst aspect, like the worst mechanic in the whole game.
Yeah,
Because you gotta
that
be
puzzle is
perfect.
kind of fucked because multiple times it took me a few tries too, because not even because it's hard, because you hit it on a platform and it'll be in an area where you can't hit it to the switch. Like you'll have to hit it back onto the platform and realign it, which is it just doesn't work that well. When you're on a platform and you have to aim the ice block, it's fucked up. You need like a lot of room to actually be able to aim the fucking thing.
At least it could be halfway off and still not
Like,
fall
I,
off the
I
platform.
don't feel like that's intended though.
Even if you could like
We'll take
hold
it.
position and aim it, because you can't just like aim it. Because if you're using the same movement stick. Again, we got 2 sticks. We got controllers here, you know? Like, and even on keyboard, you could do it with the mouse. Like fucking if I move too far to the left, I slip off the platform. There's not a lot of leeway room here for the platform, and me to aim this fucking block, you know? So it's just like made me infuriated.
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with like the buffer or something, because you can't just hit like up and then the action to go up, you know? You literally have to be moving up and then do the action for it to go up. Which I feel like in some games you could literally just hit like up in the action at the same time and it'll know.
Yeah.
It definitely could be smoother.
It could do with more settings. The the graphics and audio and all that menu shit pretty bare bones.
It's got
Not
ultra wide support, dude. That's all that matters.
well, that's astounding. Actually, I did not know that because I no longer use an ultra wide monitor, but I'm glad that it does. Good on them, 100%.
I mean, honestly, there's not much you'd be able to mess around with, even if they had more settings. Like,
I wasn't looking for like fucking ultra depth of field and super anisotropic fucking all of that shit. I just wanted like, it's just like, here's the sound, fucking, and then here's the graphics, and it's like 2 options for each one. And I'm like,
I guess
all
you
right,
could
well,
have unlocked frame rate, but it might break the game.
probably.
Because
Well, I don't know what's tied to frame rate, you know?
Yeah, well, and plus like the animations, like if everything's animated at 60 and you block it, like it wouldn't even matter then. It'd be like, you know, like when you unlock the frame rate of a fighting game, it doesn't really do anything.
oh, especially with how the game is or the art is.
Yeah, like I don't know if it would actually even change anything. It would probably just break shit.
All right, what do you guys think? Is it better than Paper Mario?
That I haven't played Paper Mario. I feel like it's the same game, to be honest. Just like a smaller budget, so I gave it some leeway.
Yeah.
Like,
it's definitely, less large in scope, but that's because it was a Kickstarter game. So, but it does everything that Mario or Paper Mario is known for very well.
Like a Bug Fables 2 would be interesting, with like more money and fixing some of the shortcomings.
I'm glad the game was made because it's ballsy to do that, like, without any notable characters. Because, like, Paper Mario has Mario attached, and, like, you meet Toadstool, and it's like, oh, cool, Toadstool, and, like, fucking whoever else is in there. I'm sure Bowser and fucking all of those people are in there.
Right, if Paper
like-
Mario was just its own, like, it could have never have been, like, an actual thing, you know? It
Yeah.
just failed.
That's the
And
thing
then,
with
like-
Paper Mario. That's the thing with Paper Mario, though, is that most of your mainstays, they're really not. It's like Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Luigi just basically being a side gag, but all the other, like,
They use,
they're
like,
basically new to they own original characters.
sort of. Because it'll be like, this is a Goomba, but, you know, his name will be, like, Jason, and he'll have, like, his own, you know. Like, they give random, like, enemies from Mario, like, you know, characterization.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a Bomb.
But, you know, like, they have a name and a backstory and fucking... Same with, like, you get the Koopa, but he's got, like, the Band-Aid on his nose. And there's booze and stuff.
I think doing this idea with all, like, original characters and not off of an existing IP, especially with how much, like, I could tell that there's a huge amount of love into this game. Like they really full sent it with this game. Like, the writing may have lacked, in my opinion, but the world building, and aesthetically, like, they really went for it with all of these, like, characters that nobody knew beforehand. Like, they only exist in this game. So I think I do give them lots of credit for that. But the shortcomings were plentiful for me.
The setting's cool, yeah. The story just... I don't know. I felt like it was an afterthought, the whole story. Like,
It definitely could have been better.
it feels like they just we want to make a Paper Mario spiritual successor, and they built that and they like nailed it, and then they attached a story. Because, like, the whole story feels like one chapter of, like, a, you know, like a huge game.
Honestly, yeah, if they had more story beats and, like, say, the Wasp King there was more of a build up to him instead of him just coming over and wrecking and stealing all the relics that he gathered.
Yeah, like, the whole time, like, I don't know, you never really like, you get the things, he steals them, you kill him. Like, there was never, like, the build-up's pretty quick, and then the climax, and then it's over.
I liked when the city caught on fire. That was probably my favorite story beat.
Oh, when you go back, yeah.
Yeah, everything went to shit. But that was fixed in all of 2 minutes.
But it's an indie game, so it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, if this was, like, Nintendo, then I guess I would be a little more harsh on it. But I get why a lot of the things are why they are.
Yeah, it's weird because it seems like fan service for something that I don't, like, get at all.
And if it's good essentially for the people, yeah.
Yeah, and if it's good for the people that get it, then that's awesome. But it just wasn't for me.
I mean, yeah, I just loved all the in-between, like, all the in-between text within the story. Just the characters talking and crap. Because, you know that, I think it was like Select or something. The Kabu tells you about.
Oh yeah, it had like the Tales of thing where it's like you could hit like, you know, the reminisce sort of when you get to areas. Okay. Yeah, right. It had that. Yeah.
And for every single character, they have written lines for Kabu talking about them, and of course Leaf and V commenting.
One thing it was fun going through all that. One thing that was it's kind of nitpicky, but like when there's a bunch of people talking, sometimes it's hard to tell who's saying what. Like they do kind of a bad job of like showing who's actually speaking sometimes.
Oh, the small text bubbles?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. It's like, okay, so where's this coming from? Like, who's saying this? And then those ones disappear, too. Like, without you even pressing anything, which is annoying.
Yeah, you gotta be kind of quick to read them sometimes.
It's, like, not a huge deal, but it's just like, they could have did that better, for sure. And the text sound does get kind of grating when it's just like,
I hated it. Because I don't know. I wasn't gonna double my playtime for some cutesy flavor text, and that sounds really harsh and callous when I say it like that. But it's just like I don't want to hear for fucking 15 hours.
It's weird though because I like the Undertale way, but it's like.
But Undertale had amazing dialogue and charm though.
And the voice, like, the sound effect for the text is more personalized. Like, you hear it's like, oh, you know, like, that's Sans. Like,
yeah.
If I just ripped a random Bug Fables, you know, text dialogue, you couldn't be like, oh, this is Kabu.
They should have went with the custom robo approach. Everybody has a unique thump.
They should, because that's what Undertale does.
Or more unique.
I mean. No, I think that's a good way to do it if you're not going to have voice acting. Because then you just kind of like, you know, especially because that would fix the problem too, where it's kind of hard to tell who's speaking because they all just make the same bleep sound basically.
Or as a character portrait somewhere.
That too. They could have had like the outline of the text bubble could have been colored to like green, yellow, or blue. That would have helped for sure.
Oh, I forgot, dude. Sound design. We're talking about sound design. Vi flying sucks. That is the most grating sound in the entire game. And you have to do it a lot at the end.
Basically, as soon as you get it, I feel like you're using it almost all the time for basically all the puzzles.
Like, did nobody say, like, hey, maybe we should change this sound, you know? Because that, I don't know, that shit was difficult to listen to sometimes.
Like grating.
My only guess is small budget. It's like, this is the sound we got. This is like, there's no money to just be fucking choosers or beggars. You know, it's just you gotta use this sound. It did suck though. It was not good to listen to. The ice sound too was kind of annoying with
Yeah.
Leaf. Only because you're just, especially when you can't freeze an enemy and it's running away, and you're just spamming, and you just keep hearing the stupid ice sound effects. That's super nitpicky though.
Yeah, no, we're just fucking. We're picking the game apart now. I'm supposed to be picking it apart. You guys are supposed to be.
Well, like I
defending
said, it's a game that when I finished, and the more I thought about it, the less I liked.
it.
Which is weird. I don't know why. It was just like a game that when I sat on it, it was just like, yeah, this game has issues. Because usually when I beat a game and I think about it, it's like, yeah, this game's actually like Blue Dragon. Like the more I think about it, the sicker it gets in my head.
Yeah.
Which is probably like Stockholm syndrome, but
Kinda. I mean,
it's like
I
missed
look
the
at Blue
game.
Dragon fondly, and that game fucked me. So maybe in time I'll look at this game fondly.
I don't think so.
Probably
Just out
not.
of spite.
Yeah. Brad, what do you give this game as a score out of 5?
Oh yeah, we're doing out of 5.
You can do half points too.
Yeah, 5 with half points.
Gotcha.
I already know where he's going.
I mean, I'm 4. Like, obviously because I'm biased, or it's gonna my Paper Mario nostalgia is gonna inflate it a bit. But overall, I don't really have too many qualms with it. So solid 4 for me.
I would give it a 3.5. It's good enough to where I'm interested in a sequel. Like, if a sequel comes out, I'd be interested in playing that. It just has, like, too many issues to be truly great, but it's, like, good. And I think if anyone wanted to play a Paper Mario game that's not Paper Mario, 100% play this game.
I gave it a 2.
A 2?
I thought about it, and I really wanted to give it a 2.5, right?
Well, to be honest, I thought you were gonna say 1.
No, I wouldn't give it a 1. There's too much. They care too much about the game for it to be a 1. I wasn't gonna be that harsh on it, but I liked about 40% of the game, and that's just the end of it. It was. I didn't like the story, and I didn't like I didn't like too many things for it to be a 2.5. So it's a 2 for me.
It solely comes down to probably you not having the nostalgia.
Yeah, the game is not. It's literally wasn't made for me. It was made for a very specific subsect of people. Brad is in there. I'm glad that you got to play it, Brad. I did not enjoy the experience whatsoever. It had good parts, which is why it's a 2 and not a 1. Like I said, what they did with the game aesthetically is amazing. Like the set pieces, the character design, the way everything looks exactly how it's supposed to. That's the game's strongest point, in my opinion. And the game functioned without glitch, so that's 2 points.
2 whole points.
Senua Hellblade's a 1.
Oh my god.
Dude.
It's the moment of truth, dude. What's your game?
My next game is Recore.
The fuck is Recore?
Yeah, never heard of that one.
Recore is a third-person shooter.
Oh,
and
this game?
Yes, this game.
Oh no.
I know.
Is this on Game
From
Pass?
Yes, it is on Game Pass. Definitive Edition. From the makers of Metroid Prime. Come on.
All right. It can't be that bad.
Yeah. But I've been trying to find a reason to play this game for years, and now I got a reason.
Recore.
Are you excited for Recore, Brad?
I'm not even gonna look it up.
You're just gonna play it?
Yeah.
Going in
All right.
fully blind.
That's the way to do it. That's
The
what I went into
madman.
Bug Fables.
No need to poison the well.
Oh my god. Damn, dude.
See, you're saying I just don't like Brad's picks, dude. He's the same way. Get out of here.
As soon as you pick it, dude. Doesn't even know what it is. Never heard of it. Knows nothing. Could be his favorite game of all time. Already negative. Frame 1, dude.
Thanks for joining us. That was our little podcast. First one, rough around the edges, but feel free to hop in, play Recore, go in the comments, and chill with us next month. We'll be here.